Alright, so last year I moved across the world. And hold the applause because I'm about to de-influence you unlike everybody else on the internet. This is just my story, so please take it with a grain of salt. I'm not trying to just like rain on your parade of thinking that moving across the world will magically save your life, because I was a part of that parade once. I wanted to make this video so that people know the downsides, specifically what I've experienced while moving away, and so people can be prepared, because I wish I was prepared. So let me be the bearer of bad news, but with love. I remember booking my ticket and getting my visa approved and thinking, oh my god, I'm about to level up so hard. I remember seeing the videos of the beaches and the sunset, and everybody's like, moving away saved me, it saved my life. And don't get me wrong, I've made those videos too, because those parts are just as real as the shitty parts. But no one likes to talk about the hard shit, alright? I honestly thought that moving across the world would fix me. Not that I was broken to begin with, but as anybody, I have some baggage. And I thought, fresh start. Fresh start's all I need. If I just can start in a new place, a new city, new time zone, I'll be set. I'll be the best version of myself. And in a lot of ways I was, but there was quite a few things that I was like, oh. Didn't know I brought you on the plane. I thought putting an ocean between me and my past would somehow heal all of it. The hurt, the pain, the shitty people. I just thought, if I could just put a large body of water between the two, I'll be fine. I honestly thought that it would fix my feeling of never really feeling like I belonged. And I've always been somebody that moved around. I had divorced parents, moving back and forth between the two of them. I've always been somebody that's starting in a new place. However, moving across the world is a little bit different. I thought if I could start over, then somehow I would just kind of become somebody new. I just had hoped that maybe the heavy shit wouldn't follow me, but let me tell you, that shit snuck into my suitcase because I carried that right through TSA. I honestly kind of thought that getting on the plane would be my turning point of like, it's like the coming of age scene when they're like going through the tunnel and like they have this wild realization, oh my god, this is all the things that went wrong. And it was in some ways, but it wasn't the ways that I was expecting. Changing my environment did significantly help me in multiple areas of my life. Like, living by the ocean can never be a bad thing. But instead of crying in a Walmart parking lot, I was just crying at the beach. So, like, upgrade there. But I was still crying about the same shit. I think a huge thing that attracts people to this specific life choice is the idea that we're escaping what we perceive to be as the root of our problems. We think our problems are all external. But as I've learned in moving away, there is no magical place that cures all your issues. What it does change is your perspective. You have to find happiness in you, not in outside sources. Because while it's so easy to think that all of our problems come from external factors, they don't. A lot of times we are a direct reflection in our realities, and if these problems are constantly coming up, it's because it's something that you have to work on. At the end of the day, you are the common denominator, which I know not a lot of people would like to hear, but it's true. I've honestly dealt with anxiety in a way that I have never dealt with ever in my life by being so far away. Like, I've always been a pretty anxious person, honestly, but the anxiety of being so far away, something in that my body was like, nope, you're gonna freak the fuck out. Or whatever it is, moving away doesn't just erase your problems, and a lot of times it amplifies not only the ones that you already have, but the ones that you didn't even know existed, because now there's so much more to think about. So it's not the place that'll fix you. It's you. If you make the decision that you really want to heal certain things, yes, moving to a new place will give you space to do that, but it's you that has to do the work. When you move somewhere, I reckon anywhere, honestly, I kind of get this similar high when I move different cities and different states and stuff like that. There's like this honeymoon period of it, essentially. It's like basically the same with a relationship, like those first couple months when you are just high on life. The food tastes great, the people are great, the people are nice, everything is amazing. But then you kind of get this moment, or at least I did, when I was like, holy shit, I'm alone. Like, alone. And I think if you were to move with somebody, your story might be a little bit different, but I moved to Australia alone. And that's when I started to realize running doesn't heal you. And I didn't even realize I was running from anything. But obviously, if you just pack up your shit and you move across the world, you're running from something, you know what I mean? Like, there's something boiling there. There's something cooking upstairs, even if you don't want to admit it. Because it's not necessarily a normal thing to do. And you might be sitting here like, duh, dude. Obviously, in this self-improvement age of social media, of course running away isn't going to help you. That's all people talk about. But running away can't fix you, but it does give you space. It gives you space to notice your patterns. It gives you space to acknowledge your habits. It gives you space to sit with yourself. It gives you space to learn who you are without the people that raised you, without being surrounded by people that might have hurt you, without everything you've ever known. And there were a lot of moments when I felt like I was taking one step forward and then 2 steps back. And there were days where I felt like I was taking 1 step forward and a half a marathon back. Because almost every day is kind of a curveball, especially when you move to a foreign country. People don't really realize I don't get to live on autopilot, which obviously you shouldn't be doing anyways. Don't do that. But some days you just want to not think. Some days you just want to exist, okay? Some days I just want to exist like a tree, okay? Let me exist like a tree. But when you move to a foreign country, you don't get that. Every single day I have to actively think about, okay, which side of the sidewalk do I need to walk on when I pass people? What is the currency rate for this? What is the exchange? What is 20 degrees Celsius in Fahrenheit? It's just those kind of little things that build up in your everyday when you're like, oh my God, I'm so tired thinking. Even when I'm talking to my friends, they'll be like, oh yeah, it's like 3 kilometers away. And I'm like, fuck, I have to pull out my phone and figure out the measurements because that literally means nothing to me. You just have to think more, essentially, which is really fucking annoying sometimes. Another thing that's been really hard for me is that bad days aren't like bad days at home. Because when you have a bad day in a place that you've grown up, in a place that's familiar, in a place that you have your routine on bad days. You know who you're gonna call, you know what you're gonna do, you know what place you're gonna call to get takeout from. You know that about yourself. I don't have any of my comfort here, even the time zone. Like, I have my go-to people, but if I have a crisis at 6 p.m., suddenly all my best friends are asleep. And it's like, what do you do? You know what I mean? Sometimes you don't realize what you left behind until you have nobody to call when that bad shit happens. Because bad shit's gonna happen, okay? It's life, right? You don't get to move to a new country and it's like you won Monopoly. That didn't really make sense, but I think that you understand what I'm saying. Like, sometimes it just feels like I have the same baggage just with a lot better of a view, which is like, upgrade, but at what cost? And when you have bad days away, because you will, right? You're human. This is life. You are going to have bad days, no matter where you are or who you're with. Even in the best case scenario, you are going to have bad days. And it's just a little bit harder when you're away and you have those bad days because you have to sit with it alone, which is such a bittersweet thing because it's really good for you. It's really important that we do feel our feelings so that we can actually process them. However, it feels like shit because you're alone. I just thought that I would move here and like have such an amazing life that like that stuff wouldn't matter, which I know is naive of me to think, okay, I get that. But a girl's gotta have hope in something, you know? And so while it hasn't fixed me, I don't really like that term, but like, fine. While it hasn't healed every single part of me and it hasn't magically made everything in my life that was tough before just better, it's given me space to realize the things that I really do need to work on. It's growth that you didn't see coming, and it's not the way that they show you on TikTok and Instagram. It is real. You feel it in your bones growth. In the space and the silence that distance creates, it's brutal, but it's really honest. It feels like a point where you finally can meet yourself without the noise of the past. And there's almost a guilt that comes along with it, for me at least. When I'm having a bad day, I feel like I shouldn't be having a bad day because I already know the sacrifices that I'm making by being away. I'm missing birthdays, I'm missing graduations, I'm missing really important dates for a lot of the important people in my life. And I almost felt like if I was having a bad day, I was not grateful enough for the place that I'm in. It's really hard to describe this feeling, to be honest with you. But there was just this, I can't have bad days because this was a choice that I made. And I'm making so many sacrifices by making this choice. And therefore, I can't have bad days. I just can't, which is obviously inhuman. And when I've talked to my friends about this, and I've told them it's really hard for me to feel like I'm allowed to have bad days. Nobody is looking at your life, no matter what you do, and saying you're not allowed to have bad days because you XYZ. That's why I hate so much when people are like, oh, you're in a really good scenario, therefore you can't be upset about anything. You have so much money, you can't be upset about anything. You have a dream relationship, you can't be upset about. Of course they can be upset about it. They're fucking human. It doesn't matter what is going on in your world, people have bad days. because we are human. And I wanted to make this video so that if you're sitting out there and you're like, fuck, I just did this really big thing, I'm starting to kind of lose faith in myself, or I shouldn't be lonely because I made this decision, or I'm having a bad day, but I shouldn't be having a bad day because I made this decision. I want you to know that you are not alone, because I felt so alone in that. And every time I opened social media, it was just these people having the best time of their lives, and all I was thinking is, why isn't that me? And that's because social media is fucking fake, okay? Social media is fake. In comparison, it's a thief of joy. Even though I wasn't feeling very much joy anyways when I was going through that, but I digress. You are allowed to have bad days. Sitting with that discomfort, especially with that space of being so far away, is going to develop you in ways that you can't even imagine yet. If you can move across the world by yourself, you can literally do anything. If you can pack up all your shit and you can go, not even across the world, if you can pack up your shit and you can leave by yourself, you can do anything. Do you know how much guts it takes to get on that plane and leave? To pack up that car and go? You are brave, even on your bad days. But I just wanted to be real and say that moving away did not fix everything for me, as much as I wish that it worked like that. But it did give me so much space to figure out who I really am as a person. So if you're out there thinking that moving away is gonna fix you, it's not gonna fix you, because you're not broken. You don't need to be fixed. What it is gonna do is give you space for you to figure out what you need to work on, but it won't fix you. And if you're thinking that moving away is gonna fix everything, just know that it's okay if it doesn't. Honestly, if you move away and it does fix everything, bravo to you. I envy you. I really do. I'm so happy for you. I'm genuinely so happy. It doesn't seem like I'm very happy, but I am. I'm really happy. Like, if you figured that shit out and everything just aligned for you and it worked out perfectly for you, I'm incredibly happy for you. But I wanted to make this video because I know that there are people like me out there who it didn't work out for as well as they thought it would, and I just want you to know that it's okay. Sometimes the real work isn't about where you are or where you go, but how you show up for yourself when you're all you got. So if you are trying to outrun something, know that I get it, and know that there's somebody else who gets it, and I will always get it. Just know that wherever you go in this world, you deserve to feel at home with yourself. And you are whole no matter where you are. And those people back home still love you, and they are rooting for you. And I'm rooting for you, okay? I'm rooting for you, babe. So yeah, it didn't fix me, but it turns out I just needed to see shit from a new perspective. And that's all the Debbie Downer stuff I have to say to you today. So no matter where you are, I hope you're happy. Peace out.